All right, so I'm making another batch of these little hexagon cutting boards. And so I've milled up the lumber, glued the boards, and have used my template here that I cut out using the shaper. And if you notice, there's a bunch of little like random cuts in this. I used a scrap piece of MDF for this template. And anyway, this side up is the side that's got the rough cuts on it from the scrap, and then the good smooth side is the side that I use to tape to the pieces before I take them over to the router table. And I've got a flush trim router bit here that I use to finish off the final size. So I'm just gonna show you how I do that today. So basically, I'm taking this piece that's already been rough cut on the bandsaw, and as you can see in my pencil marks, and I just rough cut as closely as I can on the bandsaw. And then I take my template and just making sure I get it lined up the right way. This side up, flip it over. And then at this point, so I'm using some two-sided tape that I got off of Amazon, and this stuff is incredibly sticky. It's not the same tape I used last time, and I won't buy this again because it is so hard to get the pieces apart once I'm done. But I don't need it to hold very long, just long enough for me to cut this out on the router table. And so what I'm doing is I'm basically using some blue painter's tape on the walnut and also on the template, because again, if you've used template MDF very often for templates, you know, it's not the best stuff as far as durability, because over time, especially if you're using tape as sticky as this stuff, it really starts to pull away at this MDF. So anyway, I basically put the painter's tape on both pieces so that they're lined up. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put this camera down for a second, put this sticky tape on, and I'll show you. All right, so now I've got this double-sided tape here. And like I said, this stuff is incredibly sticky. And so I'm gonna peel this off. And now basically what I'm gonna do is just flip this template over and attach it to the walnut. And this blue tape does a good job of still holding the pieces together. But then when I'm done making the cut, it's much easier to get these separated. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those together now, and I'll show you how this goes. All right, so I've got these two taped together, and now I'm gonna take it over here to the flush trim router bit. And as you can see, I've got this set up to where that top guide bearing is up against my MDF, and you can see the bottom where the cutter is high enough to where it's going to get the walnut and not take you know, anything else. And anyway, so this is set up now and ready to go for me to go around this and take the excess off of this piece of walnut. And I will show you what this looks like. So I finished up that piece, and I'm going to show you now how much easier it is to get these apart. Let me set this down for just a second. Now once you pull them apart, as you can see, the blue came off of the MDF pretty easily, and it still adhered really well to the walnut. And now literally pull it all off and it leaves very little residue, and is very easy to maintain just the smoothness of this template, and also not do too much damage to the walnut piece. And so now you've got a good piece that's cut to the exact size of the template and is ready to cut the hole and to finish it up sanding. So that is basically how I'm using this template that I made on my Shaper Origin, along with this flush trim router bit, which is, it's actually an Amana Tools flush trim router bit that I can't exactly remember where I ordered it from, but I will go back and look, and I will put a link to this bit, which has been a great bit. It's a double bearing. It's got bearings on top and bottom. I've been mainly at this point using it with the top bearing, but it takes this walnut off very smoothly, very easily. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.